Good morning, gorgeous. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're having a wonderful day no matter when you watch this. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Michelle Daff, and I'm so happy that you're here today as we talk about femininity. And we're talking today about how to be a nurturing feminine woman. Being a nurturer is part of your feminine essence. It's part of the beautiful gift of womanhood that God gave to you. And it's important to know how to exercise it, how to weave it into your life. This is going to be a 3-part series. So we're going to talk about how to nurture yourself, which is what we're talking about today. Then we're going to talk about how to nurture your relationships, like your marriage and your relationship with your friends or your boyfriend. And then we'll also talk about how to be a nurturer to your children, because this is one of the most beautiful parts of womanhood. This is something that men very much look for when they're thinking about wanting to have a wife. They look for qualities of women who know how to nurture children. And this is also just a gift to humanity, learning what's needed from you for the little ones who will be our future one day, and blessing yourself with a gift of nurturing. Now, being a nurturer comes more easily to women. It's not to say that men cannot be nurturers. Men are. But with women, it just has more ease and flow to it. It's a gift from God. So we're able to more easily step into the role of nurturers. And it's important for you to learn not only how to nurture other people, but how to nurture yourself. And a lot of this, you might hear it and think like, I've heard this stuff over and over again about how to care for myself and pour into myself. But the issue is that a lot of times we hear things over and over and over, but we don't do them. It's not part of our actual lifestyle. What I want is for you to be able to not just hear it and just know it mentally, but implement it into your life. Don't just do it once or twice and think, oh yeah, that actually did make me feel better. That really did improve my life, but you don't stick with it. It's not part of a habit that you incorporate into your life. So it's not second nature. It's not actually bringing you blessings and growth. It's just knowledge. So I want this to be your lifestyle. I want it to be automatic. I want you to think about these things and live in these things, because this is what's going to make you the beautiful feminine woman that you were created to be. So with that being said, I want you to go ahead and sit back, relax, get something cool and refreshing to drink and something to write with, and let's talk about this. So what does it mean to nurture? What is the actual definition of the word nurture? The dictionary defines it as to care for and encourage the growth and the development of someone. To care for and encourage the growth and the development of someone. And in today's segment, we're talking about you. You are that someone. So how you're going to care for and encourage your own development. We're going to talk about different aspects of this, like your mind, your body, your spirits, because all of these are part of who you are as a person and how you are actively nurturing these parts of you. When we think about women as nurturers, a lot of times we are put into certain categories of people who really need special attention and special care. So women are oftentimes in the fields like nursing. When you think of a nurse, if someone tells you that I called the nurse and the nurse said to do this and this, you automatically assume the nurse is a woman, right? Unless they tell you it's actually a man. So naturally, we lean towards positions where they are serving and caring for a person and being gentle and loving as something that women are naturally more prone to, or just better at, or it's received better. And you can also think of like a child, when a little baby, or, they don't have to be a baby. They could be 10 years old. When a 10-year-old boy is sick, and usually he's out there running the streets and jumping off of things and being like really rugged and rowdy with his dad. When he's sick, he wants his mother. He wants his mommy. We all want to be held close and cared for in this loving way when we're not feeling well. So a lot of times women are in fields where they are nurturing elderly people or sick people, or they're working with children. If you think about like preschools and elementary schools, a lot of times the teachers are women. It is rare to see a male elementary school teacher. However, when you think of a college professor, you don't naturally think of a woman. It could be a woman or a man, because there are way more men in the higher education system, because at that point when people are adults, the teaching style is a lot different. They don't need nurture. They just need to be educated. And so you kind of just see how important it is in certain times in our lives and in certain seasons to have a woman who knows how to pour into a person and who enjoys doing it. It's not like this job that they have to do. They genuinely love doing it. And that's what makes you feminine. So what stops a lot of us women from learning how to nurture ourselves? Well, part of it is this world that we live in that is so highly consumed with productivity and working and just making it and earning money and being someone. A lot of times we're so caught up as women with our jobs. We're so tired. We are always trying to chase goals, and we're chasing after people. We're taking care of our children, our husband, and our parents. And we get into this point where we're losing sight of ourselves. We don't have the mental clarity or space or time to really think about what we need and how we can just hold and help ourselves. And some of us women go above and beyond, and we're not able to even have balance. So maybe you do work a job. Maybe your job is very stressful, but you don't take off holidays. Like, you want to work the holidays because you get double pay, and you don't take your vacations because you want to get promoted and you want to be seen as someone who takes her job very seriously. And so you miss out on those times where you're allocated time to nurture yourself because you're trying to keep up. You're trying to prove a point. And this takes you out of that feminine nature. This takes you out of that balance that you need in life. It removes you from this place of being poured into to a person who is constantly pouring out for other people. And honestly, some women also feel a very deep sense of guilt when they place time to nurture themselves, when nurturing themselves is a priority. And it's not to say that nurturing other people is not a priority. I don't want you to get that confused or think this is about being self-absorbed or conceited. It's not. It's about learning balance, because all of these things are necessary. You cannot be this beautiful, feminine, happy, loving person if you are stressed out, if you are tired, if you are burned out, if you are miserable. You can't even do what everyone thinks that you should be doing. You have to be whole first. So this is something to take very seriously, especially as you get older. When you're younger, it's like, who cares? But as you get older, you're going to start to see, like, you can't do everything. Your body can't hold up. Your energy is not the same. Your face is going to start showing signs of what you're doing. That's going to stress you out, okay? Because then it's like you're already upset, and now your face is looking more stressed, more tired, more wrinkled, more dry. And it just becomes this like very deep hole of sorrow. And we don't want that. So we're going to talk about how you can nurture yourself in different ways. Let's start by talking about how you can nurture your body to be a beautiful feminine woman. The first way to nurture your body is to pay attention to it. This means that you have enough time when you take your showers, when you have your downtime, your spa days, whatever you do, to actually look at yourself. Take a look at your nails. Like, look at your nails right now. Take a look at your nails right now. What do they look like? Are your nails dirty? Are your nails clean? Do your nails have white spots on them, black spots on them? Is your nail like growing out from your last manicure? Take a look at your hands. Are your hands soft? Are your hands clean? This is something we have to do, is just to take a look at our body. Take a look at your toes. Take a look at your skin. You may have things popping up on your body that you don't even know is popping up because you don't look at yourself. And so you need to take a look at yourself and start paying attention to areas of your body that need care and nurture. Maybe your knees are really dry. You need to start putting more moisturizer on them. For some women, they actually pride themselves in terms of taking care of their hands and their feet. And they'll put like moisturizers and thick creams, and they'll sleep with like these special socks that keep your moisture in, and special gloves, because it's important for them to be soft, to feel soft. And of course, it does not have to be something you do every night or for your whole life, but it's nice to have seasons in your life where you actually pay attention to certain parts of your body. But do things for yourself that really does speak to your maintenance. Get your manicures, get your pedicures, and you don't have to pay for them. You can do them yourself. If you have daughters who are teenagers, you can have them learn how to do it on YouTube or something and do them for you and spend quality girl time with them. You can also just go out and take yourself to the spa. Get a spa package where you can go once a month, where it's not just only on your birthdays. Get facial treatments. Do things that are going to add life to your body and to your skin. So don't just spend all your money buying makeup products, which is fun, but makeup products are not going to actually help your skin. Take time to research exfoliators or research serums or creams that can help your skin. If you live in an environment where you don't have this issue, that's great, because some places are really tropical and like the sun and the moisture and all of that just does everything for your skin. Like you don't need any of this. That's great. But maybe your hair may need some maintenance. Maybe your scalp is very dry. Maybe your ends are all tangled and just split. Are you paying attention to your body, or you're just constantly going from weave to wig to locks to this to that, and you're not actually caring for yourself? Take time to look at your skin. Is it discolored? Do you have lots of hyperpigmentation? Analyze yourself, and not in a way where you're judging yourself, but in a way where you see yourself. Actually see yourself. Take time to put on things that smell nice, things that affect your mood. Buy perfumes that smell beautiful. As you know, I have a fragrance line, Fine Forever. And if you love feminine fragrances, if you love smelling good, smelling sweet, smelling fresh, smelling clean, then I invite you to purchase a fragrance. You can click on the link below. You can even see them below, all the different fragrances, if you look down on the video, and treat yourself to a beautiful fragrance. But these things just help you to feel more feminine. It helps you to smell good, to look good, to feel soft, to feel clean. And this is all part of nurturing yourself. You're putting all this lotion on your children, but you don't put lotion on yourself. Yeah, it's something you need to do for yourself too. In addition to that, when it comes to your body, of course, we talk about this all the time, but being mindful of what you eat, allowing yourself to have balance in your diet. So taking time to drink green juices and fruity drinks that are not just sweet, but also have lots of antioxidants and things that are going to make your skin glow. Take time to make your own smoothies or eat certain vegetables and fruits that just bring life to your body and also just clear different things that are going on in your health. Take your probiotics, things that are going to help you with your gut health and help balance your, areas down below. As a woman, we have to pay attention, not just to our outer beauty, but also to what's going on the inside, our fertility, just our hormones and just balancing our cycles. We have to pay attention to all of that. So think about that. Think about when your last cycle was, or if your cycle is off, how can I get that fixed? Do I need to make an appointment with my doctor? Do I need to get a pap smear? When's the last time I got tested for this and that? Go in and take care of yourself. Don't just wait until something is wrong. Take time to drink lots of water. Take time to exercise, to stretch your body. You can run. I'm not really a runner. I don't really enjoy running, but I do know that there are times where when I run a little bit, I get those endorphins. Like I get this rush that is painful, but feels really good. And it just helps me. It clears my mind. Maybe for you, it's swimming. Go swimming or go play tennis with your girlfriends. But take time to move, to stretch, do Pilates, do whatever you need to do to get yourself in a place where you are moving your body. You're dancing, you're at home and you like to dance and put on music and just feel the music and get into a rhythm and just release your body to be free. This is all part of nurturing yourself, knowing that every single part of you does need and deserve care. There is not one part of the body that does not affect the other. Every single part of your body does need attention, but do you give it attention? Do you go to the dentist? Do you floss your teeth? Do you brush your teeth? Do you care about your teeth and your smile? Are there parts of your body that you're just ignoring? Think about yourself as a whole, because you are a whole body. And in line with your body, also think about touch. Are you being touched? Touch is something that really does affect us as human beings. Our bodies being touched is something that is necessary for us to feel safe, for us to feel loved, for us to feel accepted. I have a video all about touch, so I will link it and you can watch that video about feminine touch. But are you being touched? Do you give hugs to your children or your pets? Do you get hugs from your husband? Make love to him. Having sex is a beautiful thing that really does help your body in so many ways. So make sure that you're having enough sex. Allow yourself to be able to enjoy the pleasures that come with marriage. And of course, rest. Rest is necessary in terms of you nurturing yourself and nurturing your body. Allow yourself to rest when you need it. Take your PTO time. Take time. Sometimes say, listen, kids, I need an hour to sleep. I need a nap. I am very tired. Allow yourself to rest. A lot of people say things like, I can function off of 6 hours of sleep, or I can function off of 3 hours of sleep. I can survive off of 7 hours of sleep. Well, we don't want you to just survive. We don't want you to just function. We want you to live, to thrive. So get the amount of sleep that your body requires, what you need in this particular season in your life. If you're able to, if you have the ability to, then get the sleep you need instead of being up all night scrolling TikTok and Instagram or having conversations with people that are meaningless. Take time to do what your body needs. Actually care about what your body needs. Now let's talk a little bit about your mind, about how to nurture your mind as a beautiful feminine woman. Being beautiful is great, and we want you to be beautiful on the inside and out. But it's very difficult to maintain a beautiful life if your mind is suffering, if your mind struggles to be clear, to be free, to be nurtured. So ways that you can help yourself in terms of nurturing your mind is growing it, allowing your mind to be able to see and experience new things. That's like the beauty of childhood. When you have children, or if you're working with children or around children, you get to see how they are experiencing life. Everything for them is new, and they're constantly learning new words and new things and experiencing new places and situations. And they're in this space where they're just always in awe, and they're glowing and growing. And we get to a place where we're adults, and it's like we just stop having new experiences. We feel like, okay, we know what we like, and that's it. We know what we wanted. We got to our goal, and that's it. But in terms of nurturing your mind, you are allowing your mind to expand, to grow, growing in knowledge in different things. So take time to read books about things that you are interested in. It could be about flowers. It doesn't have to be some deep book on philosophy and about women's rights. It can be on flowers, on peonies, or on roses. It's something that just makes you happy, but you can learn more about those things and expand your vocabulary and expand your visions. This is so helpful. Reading your Bible. Reading is not easy, especially if you struggle with learning and that sort of thing. But you can listen to audiobooks. You can listen to so many different teachings and, research different things that you may be interested in one day. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing, but try to educate yourself on different things in life. Be interested in things outside of yourself, different cultures, different lifestyles, just different things that people around you are interested in. Maybe your son loves football and you have no idea how football even works. Educate yourself on football. Watch a couple videos on it, or read a book on it, or study something on it so that you can actually learn about something someone you love likes. This is how you become a more well-rounded feminine woman. You're nurturing your mind by showing your mind that it's not the end. You're not done. There's so much more ahead of you. There's so much room to grow. And that reminder comes by you intentionally feeding your mind knowledge. And it's nice to be able to allow your mind to absorb things in different spaces. You don't have to just sit at home if you're not a home person. You can take walks or go to the beach and watch the waves while you listen to your favorite audiobook or podcast. You can go and sit at the library. Just being around books might make you really happy, or some old historic building. You might be one of those people who enjoys like reading under a tree. Go to the park and just sit there and have your lemonade and read a book or listen to your podcast or a documentary or something. But doing things in places that you love or that bring you happiness really does increase the impact of that experience. Another way that I nurture my mind is by watching like YouTube channels that inspire me, but that are also relaxing, because being in a world that's just so fast paced, a lot of times we're just looking to relax. And that's why we end up doing things that are harmful, is because we look for the easiest way to relax. Eating something that's like really unhealthy, but makes us feel really good, or smoking, or drinking, or sleeping around, or watching pornography. All of these things are like these quick fixes to escaping the stress. But you can nurture your mind where you're not bringing yourself more problems by watching YouTube channels or Instagram pages or TikToks that are really relaxing, that are going to bring you peace. People who talk about God. God always brings peace with him. Whenever you are listening to someone who's talking about Jesus, there's going to be a peace that will accompany that. Even if it's something that's pretty challenging, the peace of God will be there. That presence brings peace. And I hope that you can experience God's peace even in this video and throughout all of my content. The peace of Jesus really does impact you in a way nothing else can. And that can come from listening to people who talk about things of God. And even if they're not talking about things of God, just being in that space will bring you so much peace and relaxation. I also watch YouTube channels that are just like very different than me, people who live completely different lives than I live. Like they live in different parts of the world, and it helps me to be able to kind of like imagine something different with people who I really like the way that they live their life. It's just very easy. And I will link 2 channels below that I really enjoy watching. One of them, she lives, I think you pronounce it the Cotswolds. It's somewhere in England. Her name is Josie. She's a really big YouTuber, and I love her YouTube channel. And there's another lady I really love. She lives in the countryside in France, or like a village in France. And I think her channel name is called French Vibe. I'll link it below. But they live these lives that are just very slow and beautiful. And it's not only aesthetically pleasing, but it's just very soothing and comforting. And those are channels that I go to when I really just want to relax and have some peace and nurture my mind with like a completely different way of living than I do. Another way to nurture your mind is just knowing when you need a break. At work, when you need a break. At home, when you need a break. Even with your husband, sometimes there may be things he's asking of you, asking of your body, and you just need a break. Maybe you need to go on a vacation, but knowing when you need a break and not waiting until you completely just pass out to say, I really need a break. Okay. You don't want to ever get to the point of exhaustion as a woman. This takes away from your femininity. You want to be able to know when you're getting to the point where you're going to need a break and allowing that to be okay. Everyone's going to be fine. Your boss will be fine. Your followers will be fine. Your husband will be fine. There's beauty in taking a break. It allows people to be able to miss you, to be able to honor you and see your value and your worth. It allows you to be able to come up with new ideas and just refresh yourself in the joy of whatever you're doing. Breaks are needed, and you need to be the one to say you need a break. Don't let other people say, oh, you've been looking kind of crazy, or you've been acting kind of weird. Don't wait for people to tell you, take a break. You need to be the one to say it. That's how you nurture yourself, is by advocating and caring for yourself. You can also nurture your mind by doing things that make you laugh. It's so important to laugh. Laughing and having fun and being joyful is such a beautiful part of femininity. And when you are truly in a place where Yes, things may not be where you want them to be, and you may not be happy all the time. That's normal. No one is. But you have an escape, a way to bring yourself back to the reality that all things will pass, and with God, all things are possible. Your situation can change at any point in time because there's nothing God cannot do, and He loves you. When you have scriptures to go to and you can just shift your mind easily back into this place of trust and of faith, it does bring you up. It lifts you up from the bondage of just depression and of hopelessness. And it's nice to be able to also laugh, to be able to get yourself from that place and then be in a place of joyfulness. So if there are people that you love to listen to, if there are YouTube channels you like to watch, or TikTokers or Instagrammers who are funny, who do comedy, then watch them, laugh a little bit, read a funny book, or go call that friend of yours or that cousin of yours that always makes you laugh and get a good laugh in, because that's going to be just medicine for your soul. It's going to be what kind of just brings you to a place of peace. You can have coffee or lunch with them. If you know that there are certain people who just make you really happy, then spending time with them and reaching out to them when you know you need that boost, because that's why they're there. And it's important for you to be able to access all the things in your life to help you to be the woman that God created you to be, because that's why He put them in your life. So take advantage of that. It's also really hard to be in your femininity and to nurture your mind when you have so many distractions. If you're one of those people who is very goal-oriented, maybe you're really type A, or you're just one of those people who takes your life seriously, like you have things to do, you have responsibilities, but you have a very hard time like funneling out distractions, this is something that really does affect your mind. So learning how to remove distractions. If you know that this Netflix series has been taking up 2 hours of your night every single night, telling yourself after you finish this, you're done with Netflix. Like you're going to cancel your subscription for the next 2 months, or whatever you have to do, like add some discipline into your life to get rid of distractions. If there are certain emails that are always popping up in your inbox, and next thing you know, you're shopping for 2 hours a day, or you're thinking about this dress that you really want and it's taking over your whole evening. If there are things in your life, people in your life who are distractions, then taking on the responsibility of knowing who they are, what they are, and eliminating them. And the last thing I'll add in terms of just your mind, like there are just little things that can affect us so much. And I say little, but they're actually not little. They're just things that you need to know for yourself. So like for me, I love bright spaces. I love big windows. I like just being able to have a very like open, airy environment. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is open up all the windows. I do not like any artificial light if I don't have to have it. I want all natural lighting when it comes to my space, and I like to be in places that have a lot of natural light because it truly does affect me. It affects my mind and my mood and my creativity and just everything. The light affects me. So for you, it may not be the case, or it might be. For you, it might be scent. Like you might love having aromatherapy, candles burning, or not incense, candles burning, or like diffusers, or certain things that just really impact your smell. You may need that in your environment. That may help your mind to be able to focus or to think about certain things that need to get done. And this is something to take advantage of. For some of you, it might be something like food. Your food might be affecting your mind. The fact that you're not eating what you need to eat, the fact that you are eating certain foods that can cause you to feel more depressed or can cause you to feel very anxious. Maybe you're drinking too many cups of coffee because you're exhausted, and so you're relying on caffeine to get you through, and then that's affecting how snappy you are towards your husband or how much you're able to like focus and concentrate on that task. There are things that are impacting you. So in order to nurture yourself, you need to know what actually impacts me and how can I add more of that into my life or remove it. And lastly, the last thing I'll add, because I know this video is extremely long, but all of these things are necessary. And I hope that you can watch it in segments or whatever. The last thing I'll add in terms of your mind is going to therapy. This is something a lot of people really do need, not because there's something wrong with you, my dear. There's nothing wrong with you, but because you may need an avenue to just unload your mind. You may need strategies from a professional who studied what you've been through, who can really just point out how to help you. It's like, why should you have to think of everything by yourself? Why should you have to solve every problem by yourself? You don't. There are professionals and people available to you. It does not have to be a professional licensed therapist. It could be a person at your church that does therapy because maybe they've taken a couple courses and this is something that God has gifted them with, this gift of like counsel, and they have the wisdom to help you. You might just need someone to listen, someone to bounce ideas off of. You may not need a serious like regimen of therapy and medication, but if you do, then you should be taking care of yourself. If you take medication, then you should take your medication. Don't skip out on it because you don't feel like it, because you wish you weren't on medication, because you don't like how it makes you feel. Talk to your doctor about that, but take care of your mind. If you need the medication to focus and to live the life that you're supposed to live, then stay true to it. Stay true to whatever you need. Don't skip out on your counseling sessions. Don't make up excuses as to why you can't go. Attend them. Be brave enough to do what you need to live a clear life where you're able to think for yourself. You're able to love who you are because you are true to you. And this may trickle over to your children. Maybe it's not you who necessarily needs these things, but maybe your children are stressing you out and that's impacting your mental health. Or maybe your children have behavioral issues. You may need special services for your children. You may need to have your children go to counseling, or you may need wraparound services where your children is getting behavior therapy and counseling and nutritional, information, and you may need some parenting courses. There may need to be an entire service plan mapped out for you. And thank God these things are available. Thank God that you have this at your disposal, because when you go to a lot of other countries, they don't have any of this stuff. It's all on you. Figure it out. If you live in a place where you have access to these things, stop letting your children stress you out. Stop letting your children run the show. Learn how to be a better mother, or take them to classes, or take them to therapy, or take them to someone who can evaluate them and find out why they are doing this and how you can actually get some help with them. Because maybe your children, their behavior is too much for you. It's too much. And it's driving you to a place where you're losing out on your femininity. That is a very valid reason to get help. It's not something to be ashamed of. You have this at your disposal because it is something that God has blessed you with. So take advantage of it. I really felt like I needed to say that. So I hope that that was for someone. And I will be talking more about this when I talk about how to nurture your children. Okay, so I will try to wrap this up. The last area of femininity in terms of learning how to nurture yourself that you must pay attention to, my love, is your spirit. Nurturing your spirit. Nurturing who you are. You are a spirit in a body, and you have a soul, and your spirit needs attention too. It's not just your physical body. It's not just your soul and your mind and your will and your emotions. It's your spirit, the one entity that connects you directly to God, that pathway, that channel you have with your divine Father in heaven. That needs attention too, because your spirit is where these things flow from. And so when you are taking care of your spirit, you are connected. You are taking time to spend time with God as much as you can. And it's not only your alone time with God, like your hour or 20 minutes in prayer and reading your Bible, but it's also just doing what you know you're supposed to do. Like if you need a certain thing in your life because something is not working, you're seeking God, you're fasting, you're doing spiritual things, you're giving. It's said in the Bible that it's more blessed to give than to receive. And yes, femininity is about receiving and all of that, but giving is so important. Learning how to give, learning how to bless people, sow into people's lives and into ministries, learning how to give to the poor, give to people who have a certain cause that you align yourself with. God gave you those feelings and those burdens for His glory. Another way that you can nurture your spirit is by spending time with God and understanding your gifts, understanding your purpose, and taking time to ensure that you are actually on the right path, that you're actually doing what God wants you to do and not just what your mom said to do, that you're actually in line with His will. And when you're doing this, you're going to feel so much joy. You're going to have so much more alignment with yourself because you know that you're connected to the reason why you are alive. Every single one of you was born for a reason. You're all leaders in your own special area that God has called you to. The reason why you were made, the reason why you're here on earth. There is something you're supposed to be doing. There is something you're supposed to be partnering with God to do. It doesn't have to be some grand thing, but there's something that you're gifted in. And when you spend time with God, He can show you, these are some gifts that I've put inside of you that you didn't know about. And you can learn, how do I manifest these gifts? Learn about spiritual gifting. Take time to read books on spiritual things. Understand things that are not easily explained. These things will help you in your daily life, not to take things so, lightly or maybe so seriously. How to balance your life and how to keep track of these things, how to journaling with God and journaling your future and your plans and your thoughts. This is how you're able to get that spiritual stamina to get through really tough times in your life. This is how you're able to give to other people and pray for other people. This is how you're able to grow. This is how you're able to truly grow and change. A lot of times you'll see videos and people will tell you like how to be pretty and rich and smart and feminine and this and that. And it's great. But at the end of the day, that change that you really need will never be able to shine through in an authentic, long-lasting, and real way if your spirit is stunted, if you're not connected to God, the one who gave you this life in the first place. A really good book that you can read if you want to really go on a journey to changing yourself for real, like your soul, and aligning your spirit with the Spirit of God. I love this book. It's called The 40-Day Soul Fast, and it's by Cindy Trim. I have actually talked about this book years ago, but we won't even talk about that. This book is such a fantastic book, and it's about fasting, not the traditional way of fasting with food. You're fasting like with your thoughts and with your life in a very different way. And it's 40 days. So every day there's a certain thing to think about, but it really helps you to think about your life. And are you even happy with your life? Are you satisfied with who you are? And it goes through lots of different important biblical concepts and real life things to help you change who you are and see yourself as who you are and actually get yourself on a path to who God created you to be. So 40-Day Soul Fast, your journey to authentic living. I will link it below if you want to have a look, but that book is so powerful. And just knowing that when it comes to spiritual things, you do need time off. You need breaks. You need to be able to relax. Like, people will talk about how Jesus in his life, he did so much. He healed people. He preached. He, just discipled people. He gave up so much of himself during his time on earth. But what a lot of times people tend to forget is that he also retreated a lot. He went up to the mountain. He constantly left. You see in the Bible, it'll constantly say that he went up to pray. He went away to be by himself. And this was something that he needed to do because that spiritual time that he spent was what fueled what he did all of the other time. Like, he could not do what he was doing if he did not have the wisdom to take time for himself to get spiritually charged up. That is how you live an effective and authentic life, is when you know the importance of having your time to be refueled, re-energized. And this is something to think about and to implement in your life, because this is how you truly live a life that blesses you and other people, the life that God created for you. So I hope that this video was helpful to you and it gave you some ideas or just reminders on how important it is to nurture yourself in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit, how important it is to allow yourself to grow in these beautiful ways by the way that you care for yourself. And I'm excited for this series, and we'll talk a lot about like friendships and relationships and children, because nurturing is part of your nature as a feminine woman. You were created to nurture and to love and to give and to grow. And this is something that you must start doing with yourself first. So if you love content like this, if you like these kinds of conversations, I encourage you to listen to my podcast, The Dr. Daph Show. You can find it on all podcast platforms. I also have a subscription on my podcast. If you want to listen ad-free, there is an option of complete ad-free listening on there. Otherwise, check me out 3 times a week. I post on there if you love these like development conversations and conversations on femininity and on God. I love you all so much, and I'm so proud of you for wanting to better yourself and wanting to nurture yourself, love yourself, grow yourself, and be the beautiful feminine woman that God created you to be. And I will see you, my love, in the next video. Big kisses. Mwah. Bye-bye.